Hello, I'm testing to see if the audio is loud right now or if I'm too quiet. I guess I'll find out. I'm just gonna mute it and wait till the stream catches up. Alright, on my end, well, what you guys are watching, the stream's caught up to me, and you can actually hear me quite well. So, hello. My name is MarxAthium, obviously. And the whole point is one, to show how Custom Worlds works for those who don't know, but I figure, so there's a lot of people I know, including a couple people that I recently convinced to finally give the game a try, who don't understand because the first year of Fallout 76 is very similar to the first beginning of, say, No Man's Sky, where there wasn't much, and that was kind of the point, that like you were the first people to ever exit the vault, so there's no people, everyone's dead. And you'd think, well, people obviously survived the bombs, such as stories from Fallout 4 and 3, but you find out in this one there was something completely different that eliminated the entire populace in Appalachia specifically, and it's a plague called the Scorched. And then other things happened, like the mire was created by a Garden of Eden creation kit gone wrong, so there's all vines and everything everywhere. Each of the regions reacted differently to the bombs because of the different things that were there. One area is completely toxic, one area is just like kind of deserty, the other area is obviously the mire, the forest is basically untouched, it was the furthest from the bombs. Cranberry Bog is where all of the worst stuff happened, and the ash heap is just where there was lots of mining and drill and excavators and heat, just cindered up, it's all ashes, that's all that's left of it. But essentially, the main story was meant to be with no people, so it's a little different to do now, and there's even actual, like, references to that during the main story, because it references that the computers in Vault 76 said, which I'll show you some of those as we go through, but it said that the vault was supposed to stop filtering oxygen once it was opened, so that everybody would be forced to leave. And the terminal from Fallout 3 says that it was just supposed to see what would happen if they threw them out into the open world to be watched. But obviously they didn't expect, everyone to die. Even the Enclave in the area were decimated, and this takes place 25 years. It's like way before Fallout 1 and 2. So it's a little confusing because obviously it's made so that you can play it solo, but this game was meant to be played in a 4-man squad because the story even makes the point that the dwellers were supposed to bound together. The Overseer leaves you messages telling you that's what you should do. And at the end of the game, you gain access to obviously launching a nuke that's actually essential to the story. But if you nuke an area that isn't the place that makes the most sense for the story, the Overseer actually leaves you a holotape telling you to please reconsider and that they know there's good in you. So there is kind of a canon thing that's supposed to happen here that kind of closes the story all up, because people will be like, so why didn't this spread to all the other games? Well, one, this took place way earlier, and two, because of the way that they deal with it. Like, obviously for loot and for MMO sake, and for people to actually all get a chance to do the story, you get to continuously launch the nukes, because everybody's considered a general of the US Army at the end. And that's a lot to, like, take in all at once. But, essentially, at the end, it all wraps up that you destroyed the big bad, the one that was actually creating the Scorched Beasts and spreading the sickness across Appalachia, which made all the people into Scorched, which are like ghouls, but not. and then inflicting that sickness on everybody else. So you develop a vaccine, you battle the Scorched, you find out what happened to everybody, why they all died. Basically because they didn't all give ammunition and supplies to the Brotherhood when they asked for it. Because this Brotherhood is kind of different than the other Brotherhood. At least in Fallout 4. It's more like the one in 3, where they're actually trying to help people. And then the one that just came in the new update is more like the original, because they actually walked their dumbasses all the way from California. But essentially it all closes up that you nuke this spot, and then you battled the final boss, and then that's supposed to be you ending the Scorched Plague. And you even make that vaccine, so everybody from Wastelanders on all came in, found out, and got vaccinated, so the sickness can't spread anymore. So that's all wrapped up. That way you can keep fighting the Scorched and everything in this game, and it can still make sense. But it makes sense why it doesn't continue past this point. But obviously it's very confusing. Because it's an MMO, some things don't work quite as they're supposed to, and they'll be bugged out and all that. I feel like that's enough to start. So essentially the custom worlds lets you make a copy of your character to like test things out. So like for example, I have one where when I was level, I think 100, I went into the custom world, but that character in the main like adventure mode, which is the official game mode of it, it's the story mode and everything, your main progression. My character is level 115 right now, but if I go into the custom world, they'll still be level 100, and I can update that at any time, but it would delete that separate character with like a separate inventory and everything, because your progression doesn't save in custom world. It's like a special copy of your character, specifically for testing things out.